We're going to start laying out our mortise and our tenon for our mortise and tenon joint that we need to make. So we're going to take our two pieces of wood that are 2 inches wide. These are 15/16 thick. And we're going to start laying out our mortise and tenon. So we're going to start with the mortise first, and we're going to come down and put some parameters on. So we're going to start a 1/4 inch back from the top. This gives us so our tongue doesn't come right, or our tenon doesn't come right out to the top. So we're going to come back a 1/4, and then we're going to have 1.5 inch mortise. So we should come from that 1.5 inches, and then overall we should finish at 2 inches. So that looks good there. We've got it at 1/4 inch plus 1.5 inches, and that's our marks. We're going to take our little speed square here and clip it on the edge of the wood nice and tight and scribe a line. Okay, so this is how tall our mortise is going to be. Now we need to lay out the center line, and so we should have a 2 inch wide board. And if we come over here, we could take 2 inches and find center of that as 1 inch and make a mark on our workpiece. I'm going to again take my speed square and this time catch the lip right on the end of the board and keep it as firm as I can right on the top there so that line's nice and straight. Okay, so that's going to be the center of my line, or the center of my hole. Now we're going to make a 3/8 mortise. So we're going to come over half the distance this way, half the distance this way, and then when we're done we should have 3/8. So half of 3/8 is 3/16. So rather than trying to get 3/16 with this little tongue here, you could come out to the 1 or 2 inch mark and burn that material and start measuring from there. So if I come out here, I can come 3/16 that way and 3/16 that way, and that is going to be the size of my mortise. And again, I'm going to take my speed square and keep it firm on the edge and draw my lines in there. So when I'm done, we're going to actually have the inside of this all removed. This mortise is all going to be cleaned out when we're done. Okay? This is going to be saved, 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 saved. So now let's go to the mortise machine and take a look at setting that up. All right, we're looking at drawing our tenon now. Our tenon is going to be on the end of the board, and it's going to be 3/8 of an inch wide as well. So I'm going to take my material and measure. We're at 15/16 thick. That's where we're supposed to be for this project. And we're finding the center of that. So that's going to be just about a 32nd of an inch under half. And so to know if I've got that in the right spot, I'll make a pencil mark, about a 32nd under half. And then I could take my tape measure and turn it around and measure the other direction. And if I'm getting the same measurement both ways, then I know I'm in the center of the board. Once I've got the center laid out, I'm going to take my speed square and I'm going to hold it tight against the edge, and I'm going to draw a line straight across. Okay, so there's my center mark. Just like on the mortise, we're going to come over 3/16 one way and 3/16 the other. So rather than trying to read really small, well, I'm at half, but I can just count backwards. I'm just about half and come back 3/16 one direction and 3/16 the other direction. Okay, so that should be 3/8 wide. And again, I'm going to take my speed square and trace these lines on here. So those are on there. Okay, now if you remember from the mortise, we came in a 1/4 inch, and that's where we started. So we're going to need to do the same here. I'm going to come in 1/4, 1/4 of an inch and make a mark. So very precisely trying to get that in the right spot. I'm going to come down this way as well and make a mark at a 1/4 inch. Then I can use my speed squares to draw that line across. And I can come this way and draw my line across. And now I have my mortise laid out. We're going to end up getting rid of this whole outside border. The only thing we're keeping this time is this inside part of the mortise. Now we do need to set the depth. Now how far back are these cuts going to go? So they were 15/16, and if we take our tape measure and just make a mark at about 15/16, we could be just slightly big so that the comes out the end of this. We're making a through mortise and tenon. So the tenon would come all the way through the mortise and stick out the other side. If we're just slightly big, that gives us something to sand. And it ensures that we're not going to be short. I'm going to make a mark across, and now I can use the bottom of this speed square here right on this lip and put that on my line, and I can transfer these lines all the way around the board. And I should have the depth that we need for our cuts. Now let's go over and show you how to make these cuts to get this tenon to appear.